Hi friends, subscribe to Arijit official YouTube channel, শেয়ার করুন, লাইক করুন, কমেন্টস করুন আর অতি অবশ্যই বেল আইকনটা ক্লিক করে দেবেন সবকিছুর নোটিফিকেশন পাওয়ার জন্য। সঙ্গে থাকুন, পাশে থাকুন, দেখতে থাকুন অরিজিৎ অফিসিয়াল ইউটিউব চ্যানেল।
My name is Sabarna Roy. I'm a senior engineering professional and an author of 8 literary fiction and 3 technical books. Actually, I started keeping journals and diaries since the age of 14. I used to record my everyday incidents in the diary that would typically include the films that I watched, the cricket matches and soccer matches that I played, the delicacies that I ate, the discussions I had with my parents, teachers, and my friends. Of course, my moments of sadness, boredom, elation, and so many other things. Now, when one would read these journals after some time, one would get a feeling that these diaries or journal entries have been written in a stream of consciousness evolving like novels and interesting descriptions of theories and at times philosophies as well. I studied in Sacred Heart Convent School in Ludhiana, Punjab after appearing for my first public examination under Central Board of Secondary Education. I traveled to Calcutta, rather migrated to Calcutta, and got myself enrolled in Ramakrishna Mission, Narendipur for my class 11 and class 12 under West Bengal Higher Secondary Education. I passed out my higher secondary in 1984 and joined Jadavpur University for my course in civil engineering in 1984, and I passed out in 1988. In the meantime, in these 4 years, I was exposed to many things that would shape my life forever. My first book of poems was published with a gift of ₹200 from my mother, and it contained 21 pieces of English poems. The anthology was titled Pain. Incidentally, my book Pain, which I described as my first book, got sold within a day when we actually sold it in Jadavpur University, St. Xavier's College and Presidency College. Well, my prose and poems would be published in various renowned journals of Kolkata, both in English and Bengali. In 1994, I wrote a play titled Ojante in Bengali, which was later published in the annual edition of the famous Journal on Dramatics and Theatre, Bohurupi, in 2010. Gradually, after I joined the corporate world, I was writing less and less. In 2002, I got into the habit of oral storytelling, and I would gather many friends, family and relatives and colleagues, of course, to tell stories which were punched from many movies, TV series, and of course my own imagination and innovation. I was a passionate storyteller until 2005, when one of my friends told me that I am wasting too much of energy in telling stories rather than writing them down. In 2007, somewhere in the middle of July, I was completely inundated by the thought of writing what I should say, a passion for writing. It was as if I did not write, I would die. Of course, I was also parallelly looking for a traditional publisher who would publish my books. I mean, it took 3 years of struggle to get a publisher, and my first book was published in 2010, titled Pentacles. Thereafter, Pentacles, of course, was a collection of a novella and 4 ballads, long ballads. Thereafter came Frosted Glass, which was a collection of a story cycle consisting of 14 long short stories and 21 poems that comprised a poem cycle. Abyss came thereafter, which was a political crime thriller. Winter Poems followed thereafter. And my 5th book was Random Subterranean Mosaic 2012-2018. And my 6th book was Etchings of the first quarter of 2020. Fractured Mosaic was my 7th book, which was a sequel to my 5th book, Random Subterranean Mosaic 2012-2018. And my latest book, A Marriage, an Affair and a Friendship, was published in last year. So the journey continues, and I'm presently writing my 9th book. You see, one of the questions that comes to the mind of every author is, what should the postmodern authors write about? Because so much has been written, and so much is being written today, and so much of information is available on the internet that one is a bit confused what one should write about. You can be lucid, you can be authentic, but at the same time, it is very difficult to be innovative, or it is very difficult to be able to write on subjects that are new to the readers today. I, for some reason, feel that, 100 years back, democracy was a great idea and a new hope to people. But today, I think the death of democracy all over the world, including India, is a topic which one needs to write about more vehemently and more strongly. And issues around the death of democracy is something that authors have to write about more. That's my feeling. Another important aspect is so much of self-publishing is available today all around the market. So youngsters are taking to the route of hasty self-publishing. You see, the word author derives itself from the Latin word autere, which means to suffer, which means that an author is supposed to suffer because he's writing and in the process of writing both. Now, the journey that an author has to travel when his or her works are complete till the time they are published for the entire world to consume, that's an arduous struggle which I have faced for a time period of 3 years, which many authors have faced for many years more. Now, because of the hasty self-publishing, what is happening is today you can be a published author very soon, and that's problematic, and that actually brings down the quality of writing in my mind. Now, the changing patterns of consumption in literature, one is the attention span and the involvement of technology in every sphere of consumption of literature. How should I structure my novel? How should I structure my poem? How should I structure my opinion pieces? How should I structure my travelogues? How should I structure my book reviews, movie reviews? These are pertinent questions because the new reader today is not technologically handicapped. He or she has so many things at his or her means and so much material and so much content he or she is inundated with that, choice is a very difficult issue today. And to be able to make yourself visible, to be able to make yourself, to be able to yourself bring to the notice of your readers and audience is a very difficult question. So 100 years back, I don't think authors were involved in marketing of their books. It was word of mouth that was actually making the books popular, and one was also not looking at the kind of numbers today bestsellers look at. So today, in spite of the marketing that the traditional publishers do, authors are getting more and more involved, keeping certain budgets allotted or allocated for each book for the purpose of marketing. Now, it can range from social media marketing to various kinds of getting reviews on Goodreads, on Amazon, Instagram, and so many other social media handles. That is influencer marketing. I deliberately chose a crime thriller format because I knew it would be more popular to be able to transport my idea, like whether agriculture should be used for agriculture should be used for industry, or agricultural land should be restricted to purpose of agriculture only. So these are tough questions. So I chose a crime thriller format to be able to transport my views more lucidly to my audience and to my readers. And the last thing that I would like to tell here is the book that I am writing today is based on a ballad that I had written in 2009 titled Tara, and was published in my first book, Pentacles. Well, Tara and Sandy are two high school mates who meet each other at the Delhi airport after they have left school after a time span of 26 years. And they start reconnecting with each other 12 years after having met in 2009. It is in the format of an epistolary novel, and which means that a series of letters from Tara to Sandy and from Sandy to Tara. So the novel talks through letters to each other. Sandy lives in Kolkata, Tara lives in Pondicherry. One is a woman, the other is a man. So a lot of interesting things we can look for in this novel, and this novel is likely to be published by the end of this year. Thank you so much.